The Rub al Khali or empty quarter is the largest sand desert in the world, encompassing most of the southern third of the Arabian Peninsula. The desert covers some 650,000 square kilometers including parts of Saudi Arabia, Oman, the United Arab Emirates, and Yemen. It is part of the larger Arabian Desert. Description. Terrain. The desert is 1,000 kilometers long, and 500 kilometers wide. Its surface elevation varies from 800 meters in the southwest to around sea level in the northeast. The terrain is covered with sand dunes with heights up to 250 meters, interspersed with gravel and gypsum plains. The sand is a reddish-orange color due to the presence of feldspar. There are also brackish salt flats in some areas, such as the al-Samim area on the desert's eastern edge. Lake beds. Along the middle length of the desert there are a number of raised, hardened areas of calcium carbonate, gypsum, marl, or clay that were once the site of shallow lakes. These lakes existed during periods from 6,000 to 5,000 years ago and 3,000 to 2,000 years ago. The lakes are thought to have formed as a result of cataclysmic rainfall similar to present-day monsoon rains and most probably lasted for only a few years. However, lakes in the Mundafan area in the southwest of the Rub al Khali show evidence of lasting longer, up to 800 years, due to increased runoff from the Tuwaiq escarpment. Evidence suggests that the lakes were home to a variety of flora and fauna. Fossil remains indicate the presence of several animal species, such as hippopotamus, water buffalo, and longhorned cattle. The lakes also contained small snails, ostracods, and when conditions were suitable, freshwater clams. Deposits of calcium carbonate and opal phytoliths indicate the presence of plants and algae. There is also evidence of human activity dating from 3,000 to 2,000 years ago, including chipped flint tools, but no actual human remains have been found. Climate. The region has a hot desert climate typical of the larger Arabian Desert. The region is classified as hyper-arid, with typical annual rainfall of less than 30 millimeters. Daily maximum temperatures average at 47 degrees Celsius and can reach as high as 51 degrees Celsius. Biodiversity. Fauna includes arachnids and rodents, while plants live throughout the empty quarter. As an ecoregion, the Rub al Khali falls within the Arabian Desert and East Saharo-Arabian xeric shrublands. Oil. Geologically, the empty quarter is the most oil-rich site in the world. Vast oil reserves have been discovered underneath the sand dunes. Sheba, at the northeastern edge of the Rub al Khali, is a major light crude oil producing site in Saudi Arabia. Gawa, the largest oil field in the world, extends southward into the northernmost parts of the empty quarter. History. Desertification has increased through the millennia. Before desertification made the caravan trails leading across the Rub al Khali so difficult, the caravans of the frankincense trade crossed now virtually impassable stretches of wasteland, until about AD 300. It has been suggested that Urba or Iram, a lost city, depended on such trade. The traces of camel tracks, unidentifiable on the ground, appear in satellite images. More recently, tribal populations were also present in certain parts of the empty quarter, with the largest in the Naran region. A few road links were connected with these tribal settlements to the water resource and oil production centers. Expeditions. The first documented journeys by non-resident explorers were made by British explorers Bertram Thomas in 1931 and St. John Philby in 1932. Between 1946 and 1950 Wilfred Thesiger crossed the area several times and mapped large parts of the empty quarter including the mountains of Oman. In June 1950, a U.S. Air Force expedition crossed the Rub al Khali from Dhahran, Saudi Arabia, to central Yemen and back in trucks to collect specimens for the Smithsonian Institution and to test desert survival procedures. In 1999 Jamie Clark became the first Westerner to cross the empty quarter of Arabia in 50 years. His team of 6, including 3 Bedouin, spent 40 days crossing the desert with a caravan of 13 camels. On February 25, 2006, a scientific excursion organized by the Saudi Geological Survey began to explore the empty quarter. The expedition consisted of 89 environmentalists, geologists and scientists from Saudi Arabia and abroad. Various types of fossilized creatures as well as meteorites were discovered in the desert. The expedition discovered 31 new plant species and plant varieties, as well as 24 species of birds that inhabit the region, which fascinated scientists as to how they have survived under the harsh conditions of the empty quarter. In 2012, Alistair Humphreys and Leon McCarran pulled a specially designed cart from Salalah to Dubai. They produced a documentary film about their journey and how it compared to those of Wilfred Thesiger. On February 4, 2013, a South African team including Alex Harris, Marco Bricado and David Joyce claimed that they became the first people to cross the empty quarter unsupported and on foot, in a journey which started in Salalah and lasted 40 days, eventually ending in Dubai. But about their route, there is possibility of controversy. The team only made use of 3 water stops along the journey, and pulled a specially designed cart which housed all the supplies necessary for the entire expedition. In 2013 from February 18 to March 28, South Korean adventurer Young Ho Nam led a team on a crossing through the empty quarter on foot from Salalah, Oman, to Liwa Oasis, United Arab Emirates. The crossing was performed with permission from the governments of Oman and UAE. Dewan ruler's representative for Western Region, Emirate of Abu Dhabi recognized it as the world's first on-foot crossing of the empty quarter. In fiction, in Nelson DeMille's 2012 bestseller, The Panther, U.S. agents hunt down a terrorist to Rub al Khali, and main character John Corey jokes that the empty quarter isn't a great name if promoting tourism. The desert features an H.P. Lovecraft's Call of Cthulhu, of the Cthulhu cult. He said that he thought the center lay amid the pathless desert of Arabia, where Irem, the city of pillars, dreams hidden and untouched. Rub al Khali is one of the settings for the PlayStation 3 video game Uncharted 3, Drake's Deception, in which protagonist Nathan Drake searches for the Aram of the Pillars. The empty quarter plays an important role in Clive Barker's Jericho, and in his novel Weave World, and in Tim Power's Declare. It also serves as the site of Machine City, 01, in the Matrix series. Gerald Seymour's novel Unknown Soldier is almost entirely set in the Rub al Khali. Jack Higgins sets much of the action in his novels Edge of Danger and Midnight Runner and The Empty Quarter. The Empty Quarter is also mentioned several times in the Black Stallion series of books from Walter Farley. Much of the Sigma Force book Sandstorm by James Rollins takes place in the Empty Quarter. The Empty Quarter serves as the setting of the fictional Ocean of Fire horse race in the 2004 film Hidalgo. Filming of the movie actually occurred at various locations in the USA and Morocco. In the Japanese light novel series Zero no Tsukima, Rub al Khali is thought to be the place of origin of the main character, Hiraga Saito. In Daniel Easterman's second novel, The Seventh Sanctuary, it is the location of the lost city of Iram, where the eponymous Seventh Sanctuary is situated. The Fremen people of Frank Herbert's novels on Dune are said to stem from tribes of the Rub al Khali. Josephine Tey's novel The Singing Sands investigates the murder of a young man who believes he's discovered the fabled city of Warbar while flying over the Rub al Khali. In Daniel Silva's novel Portrait of a Spy, it is the site of Hammond Innes's novel, The Doomed Oasis. Innes traveled to Saudi Arabia to research for this book. In Season 2 of the Japanese animated series Mobile Suit Gundam 00, one cell of the anti-government force Kataran operates from a hidden base in Rub al Khali. Additional images. See also, Ramlat Kalia, Notes. References. External links, Lost City under the Rub al Khali, Saudi Life. Sights and Sounds, The Empty Quarter, a National Geographic virtual tour in the Empty Quarter. Rub al Khali Encyclopaedia Britannica, clear picture of some of the dunes in the Empty Quarter.